Okay. I really wanted to make this video sooner. Uh, this album they decided to release this album while I was on vacation. My original plan was to just wait until I was off of vacation and then record my reaction to this album. But I was honestly even more excited to listen to this than I thought I was going to be. So I ended up just listening to it while I was there. And then when I got home, I had I was a bit stressed with work. I had stuff going on, and it was basically what I'm trying to say is I wanted to make this video a little while ago, but I couldn't, so I'm making it now. If you can't tell by how excited I am, I love this album. Let God Sort 'Em Out. Easily one of like the best first listen experiences I've had. And I was in the airport. So, I mean, you can't really, Okay, a little bit of background. I feel like I should talk about this. So, I this is the first Clipse album I've ever listened to. And in terms of the artists themselves, Pusha T and Malice I did not know much about at all before listening to this and before looking into this. Pusha T, I've been like a mini fan of for a little bit. I listened to Daytona, loved it. I listened to a couple things that he was featured on. I think I started one of his other albums, didn't end up getting that done, but I will come back to it obviously. And I've liked everything I've heard from Pusha T, but I wouldn't say I like really went out of my way to like be a big enough fan to like listen to everything or whatever. But honestly, now after listening to this album, I think I might get there because this album it's so good. And I was excited for it mainly because one of the feature list and because I just liked Pusha T and I liked the idea of listening to a new Pusha T album. But I didn't even realize like how excited I was until I actually listened to it, and I was so happy with it because it was so good. I'll start actually talking about it now. So first things first, the production. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever been quite as impressed with the production of an album that hasn't been a Tyler album. Like seriously, Tyler's albums are the only ones that I've been more impressed with the production of. The production fits so well. It's unique in comparison to a lot of the stuff that's out right now. And it makes the songs themselves a pretty easy listen, which is in stark contrast to the lyrical content. And I don't mean that in like a I can't listen to this cuz the lyrics are whatever. I just mean it in more of like a these are some really these are some really important lyrics, these are some really important talking points, and yet the production contrasts it by being such an easy thing to listen to but also really cool and interesting and unique. I'm probably doing a really bad job explaining this. The production's great. That's all I'm trying to say. The feature list is obviously amazing. The Kendrick feature was great. The Tyler feature was great. The Nas feature was cool. Some of them I didn't really know much about, but they sounded cool. I think the thing that mostly made me excited for this album, at least for the most part, was hearing Ace trumpets. Because I remember when that song came out and the album was like on the way, I was like, yeah, I might as well listen to it. Maybe it'll make me more excited. And it definitely did. And the fact that the rest of the album was as good as that song, it's great. Obviously, topically, it's very important, very interesting lyrics all across the board. I can't get too deep into the lyrics because one, I'm not great at like dissecting lyrics and figuring out the meaning of every single line of every single song, but also just because there's quite a lot to get through. But that's also another thing I really like about this album. Yeah, obviously it's an album, so there's a lot of music on it, but it does not overstay its welcome whatsoever. It's 13 songs, a total of 40 minutes. And that's great. One major problem I've had with some albums I've listened to in the past, there are some instances where songs are way too long for seemingly no reason. I don't have a problem with songs being long if they use that length well, like Sing About Me for example. That song has a reason to be as long as it is, and it uses the time well and it's great. But then there are albums like Rodeo by Travis Scott, which is great. Don't get me wrong, that album's great, but some of the songs on it are just really really long for no reason, and the extra length doesn't really add much to the song except me being like, when is it going to end? This album does not do that whatsoever. Some of the songs get a little bit long. Some of them are like a decent way into the 4 minute range, but they use that time well. And the shorter songs on the album, they don't feel like they missed an opportunity by not being longer. They feel like they used the short amount of time that they are well. This is a pretty big deal to me. I don't know if it's a big deal to anyone else, but yeah. I definitely need to listen to it more. I've listened to it twice so far, and I've loved it both times. But I definitely need to listen to it more to really like fully experience all the lyrics and everything. But this is like this and Hurry Up Tomorrow have been the first two album experiences where I've listened to them and just loved them immediately. I haven't really talked about Hurry Up Tomorrow. Hurry Up Tomorrow was, in my opinion, the best album I've heard in the year so far. But I think this might overtake it. I'm gonna have to listen to both of them a few more times before I can really make that decision. But yeah, they're fighting for album of the year in my head right now. And I obviously we have a lot of time left in the year, but and even if I was talking about the lyrics a lot, I don't want to talk too long because I don't want to start rambling. I don't want to make this video too long. My plan for this video actually was to listen to it again on video and talk about it a little bit while I was doing that, but I feel like that would just that wouldn't really make for a very good video. I would just be kind of like I wouldn't really say a whole lot and I wouldn't really add anything because that's not a reaction. I don't know. If you guys would have liked that, then let me know. Maybe I can do it in the future for other albums. But yeah, I just really wanted to make something about this album. I suppose I could have made it a YouTube short. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see in my last video, at the end, I talked about the fact that I started a YouTube Shorts little mini series thing called Random Things, where I just make random videos about random things when I feel like it. I haven't made a lot of them so far, but I plan on making more, and I have a really long list of things I can make videos about whenever I feel like it. And most of them will probably have nothing to do with music, but they can. But anyway, yeah, this album's great, man. I love it. I definitely am going to check out more Clipse, Pusha T, and Malice. I also really like the album cover. It's pretty cool. Ever since I learned about the existence of animated album covers, I've loved the idea of them. But yeah, I will be sure to get back to you guys on if I think it's better than Hurry Up Tomorrow or not. Because as of right now, those are the two candidates for album of the year at this point. But I've also not heard that many albums that have come out this year, so I definitely am going to listen to more before I say that, like definitively. But as of right now, yeah, those are the two albums. I suppose that's all I really have to say for now. I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye.